if you're talking just straight up like fantasy stats or raw numbers, I could see Zay Flowers getting bigger stats than CA3. But if you're talking impact, that's something that's tough to measure at times, right?
There it is. I like your angle now. There it is.
It
You
is.
found your gray area.
With that CA3 speed,
He done found an
and just
opening.
getting him on the
He done
field
found one.
opens things up for
You better
everyone.
Cook, Deke. You better cook.
So
Scrape the pot.
I'm actually being dead serious.
Uh-huh.
I'm leaning CA3 on this because I think Zay Flowers. What's his probably average projection right now for stats? 600 yards, 700 yards. Because you still got an Odell Beckham there. You still got Rashad Bateman. They got Mark Andrews. So, like, how much is he actually going to get the ball? Now, with CA3, I would say his average projection is going to be less than that. Could he get 400 yards? Between 400 and 500? But that impact, I feel like that impact could be felt a little bit more here in Pittsburgh when CA3 is on the field.
You know what? You're accurate. I think your numbers are off, but Steven Sims is a prime example. Everybody felt like Steven Sims in terms of his offensive production. We felt like it was a lot more than when you actually looked at the numbers.
Yeah, it was weird when you looked at the stats.
Yeah. You look at the numbers,
He
you're
only
like,
had 100 yards?
like, huh? Like, you sure? But you watch the games, you're like, nah, man, he had impact.
Oh, and especially if CA3 does some punt returning and kick returning, too. Now, Zay Flowers did that at Boston College, right? Did he?
Yep.
Did they have anyone else to potentially beat Zay out for that over the Ravens?
I'm not sure.
Now, Zay might just be doing that for them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of tough, man. That's all right. Okay, I will answer it both ways as well then.
Here's the thing with Flowers, too, and I've talked about this with the Ravens offense. I'll believe it when I see it in terms of them passing it for 6,000 yards, as Lamar said he would like to do. I'll believe it when I see it. And he's going to be the third receiver. Is he not the third receiver right off the bat for the Ravens? Actually, he'd be the fourth option. Now CA, he might be like the sixth or seventh for us, but we're talking impact. We're talking impact.
I just like how it's we got to wait and see with Zay Flowers in the offense and Lamar. I'm like, that's a lot more proven, even with a wait and see. It's been just way further along offensively than where we are in terms of we just raw confidence. We ain't even waiting to see. We're just
I know what I saw. I know what I saw after the bye week last year, and then I also heard your Kenny Pickett OTA report yesterday.
It is real. It's definitely real. But that's I was just like, that boy said, that Baltimore offense, I gotta wait and see. I'm like, bro, it's Odell, it's Mark Andrews, that's Lamar Jackson, who was an MVP. You got Rashad Bateman, you got Isaiah Likely, you got J.K. Dobbins. And I was like, Zay Flowers is just the extra. Like, Zay's going to get targets. Zay's going to get opportunities because Odell going to command. You're going to have to give him some attention. Mark Andrews, you're going to have to give him attention. Isaiah Likely has already proven that if you don't give him attention, he can cook. I already told you, I feel really good about Bateman. If he's your number 2, that's even better. So to me, Zay, I'm like, you know how we felt about Zay in the draft process. He
was all right.
So yeah, that was my thing. I was like, yo, y'all know I love Zay. When you say a punt return, I'm like, really? We go with there, y'all.
What?
You see, he can return. When you say he could be when he's like Calvin Austin, he could use some special teams as a return. Man, I'm like, I love Zay as a returner too. It looked like, hey, babe, I told you. That's, you know how I felt about Zay. And I just think our offenses are very different right now. Lamar and them, they're going to give Lamar what he's looking for. They paid for it. He's going to get the opportunities to fully take them training wheels or whatever you want to call it off. And if he wants to throw it 40, 50 times, he's going to get every opportunity. And there is no governor. There is no, if it doesn't work, you're going to get pulled. He doesn't have to worry about any of that because he's already proven, because he already has the accolades and he got the contract. Whereas Kenny, I feel like early on, is still going to be in that proven it stage that what the second half of last season was his normal, and that wasn't the outlier for him. But he still has to like show that more and more and more. That's all I'm saying. But it's gonna be a vibe, bro. It's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be a vibe. But I think I'm gonna lean Zay Flowers for now. Okay, just for now. Just for now. So don't hold that against me, Calvin. All right.
Now the thing with Calvin, aside from the Zay Flowers stuff, didn't we talk about this? I know he's been getting the Tyreek Hill comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
If we could get a Tyreek Hill type of season out of CA, I think it'd
Yes.
mean a lot. I'm not talking prime Tyreek Hill. If you look at Tyreek
No, we're
Hill's
talking
rookie season,
early on.
I think he had like 500-something yards receiving, had like 200 on the ground. Obviously, he was amazing in the return game. Like, that's why he made an All-Pro
But
and Pro Bowl.
that was the weapon part of
Yeah.
him. Like,
Can we get a light version of that from
Yeah.
CA potentially? And that's
The
what I was
speed,
talking,
yeah.
like 400 receiving. We get maybe $150
Yeah.
on the ground, 5-6 total touchdowns, and maybe we get a punt return or a kick return touchdown.
No,
That'd
I'm
be an
with you.
awesome season for us.
I'm
Even
with
though
you,
it's
man.
not the gaudiest of numbers, I think that would be big impact
No, I'm with you 100%, man.
because of that speed.
I'm with you. I just wonder, like I said, man, for him to get those type of numbers, what are we doing with Pickens? What are we doing with Move? What are we doing with Najee? What are we doing with Darnell? What are we doing with Deontay? I just don't know how Calvin has that type of impact where I know, barring injury, Zay is going to get fed. He's going to get opportunity. He's going to be on the field. It might be times where Calvin only gets 20, 30 snaps. If we're doing 12 personnel, right? We talked about Pat, Darnell playing big boy, bully ball, running the rock. Well, we want to run play action pass. We ain't just trying to do that and take a shot to Calvin's like, man, Pickens, you ready? Baby, it's your time now. So that's the only reason I don't know. But I'm waiting to see. Waiting to see for both.
I just don't want to give any ground right now.
I feel you, though. I feel you, man.
I just don't. I heard these Patrick Peterson reports of covering CA.
It's real, bro. It's real. Trust me. And I saw
I'm
the
hyped.
separation. He
I'm
creates
hyped. I'm sorry.
separation. He definitely does. He definitely does. Maybe I'm also scarred on, like, the heavy speed only. I need to see it because of the whole Dree Archer situation. Shout out to Dree. No shade towards him. But remember when Dree came out? That was the talk. He's so fast that you just can't deal with that on defense. It's so fast you could just throw him out there and everything will work. Until it did it. Because everybody was fast, and then we put the pads on, it just changed.
What happened with him? How did we try to use him?
We tried to use him as a running back. We tried to use him, like, getting on the
That
ball
was
on
never
the
gonna
perimeter.
work, right?
They let him, like, well, that's how he got out of college. He was playing true running back and return man. And he had to stop and go, the wiggles and all that other stuff. Problem was, everybody is fast. So you trying to reverse field at the NFL level don't hit the same as you reverse a field at college. You running full speed, I'm going to stop, cut. Like when we talk about Reggie Bush, for example, right? Remember Reggie in college is like, yo, so it's crazy fast than everybody else. But at the NFL, everybody has that. Or close to some of that stuff. So with Dree, that ultimately kind of,
What was his 40 time?
he ran 4.2. He was like 4.2.
Yeah,
4.24, something like that.
4.26.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. So that's why, like, when we talk Calvin and we're like, oh, man, you know how fast is this? I'm like, I do. I'm with it. I just need to see it and actually see it in pads, in stadiums, and producing. Because even Drew had a couple of long runs early on, cutting that reverse field, but it never was enough of that because his biggest attribute was just the speed, and we never got more from that. And that's all.